Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, it's sunny out. It actually hit 60, you know. We're going to wave. We're going toward that summertime temperature. We're not getting there yet, but it's pretty comfortable. Although tomorrow is going to rain and perhaps be snow, but that's the way it is. Our concerns are nothing compared to the people in Ukraine. Now, when I've made arguments before the court, I've observed other lawyers standing up, talking to a panel usually of 3 judges, and the judge says, I want you to answer this question. And the lawyer says, you don't need to know that. Now, that is a very stupid thing, because the judge obviously believes he thinks he needs the answer. So you've lost your opportunity to persuade and to meet your burden of persuasion by telling a judge who asked you a question that would help him perhaps rule in your way that he doesn't need to know that. Okay, so what does this got to do with Ukraine? In Ukraine, we have President Zelensky ask for planes and a no-fly zone. And the government today, our government, told them, oh, we've examined the military question there, and they don't need more planes. They have planes. That's interesting. That's that guy answering their judge's question, saying you don't need what you asked for, even though it's your nation, and you presumably have a better idea what your nation needs than I here in Washington need. Now, there's more to that, which is to say, some say, there aren't so many Russian planes in the sky. Well, what is it? Mariupol is besieged by planes dropping bombs all over the city, killing innocent people trying to leave who can't leave. And that's the same place a day or so ago. They were bombing a hospital where there were mothers, pregnant women, and children. So that's the situation. Now, let me put it in the context. Some people have written me and say, what do you know about military matters? Well, I have enough common sense, but let's say, how about the majority leader of the Senate? Chuck Schumer a week ago said, I'm going to work with the administration to see that Zelensky gets those planes. Okay. And then Menendez, who's a chairman of a Senate committee, he said the same thing in a letter. He wrote it to the Defense Department. I expect you're going to see that they get it. Nope, not. And we almost take a gleeful satisfaction in failing to help Ukraine. Now, as we do this right now, it appears that the Russians are getting anxious to act sooner, perhaps rather than later, because they're afraid we might actually find some courage and get into this fight and kick their ass. But, there's almost no chance of that happening when our government, the United States, is involved and even sends the vice president to Poland, dressed down in person, the head of Poland, who was prepared to give up his MiG-29s to the effort in Ukraine. Now, what else has happened? Well, we have the situation in which we announced today that the most favored nation status of Russia is no more. And what will that do? Well, it presents challenges to Russia for sure. But what it does is it drives them even closer to China. And all the reports, those people who are experts in this field, who study these things, agree that that's going to be the case. And it may not be easy for them to work it out. But once they work it out, because they believe the West, instead of engaging in fighting, is going to do this, they're going to shore up that one area of exposure and weakness they may have by having alternative ways to take care of their economies without us, which also means we lose products, we lose marketplace location, and our standard of living will go down, because our standard of living, as I said once before, is based on us exporting more than we import, because then that makes our balance such that we have excess economic comfort for Americans at every level. But we're not doing that. Beautiful, isn't it? Now, we have also going on, everybody's throwing off their masks, and now there's beginning to be a reverse thing. Why are you wearing a mask? What is wrong with you? Even though today, according to the reports, there's 37,000 new infections and 1,300 deaths today. So, if you don't wear a mask and don't distance and haven't been vaccinated, you can be one of those numbers. So it's not obviously not over yet. Texas never lets us down. They basically said the lawsuit there by the providers of those who allow for abortions, they've said that they've sued the wrong person, and so they're entitled to no relief. So the 6 weeks stands, and people who want an abortion are going to have to just go to another state, and hopefully more enlightened people will set aside the funds to help that happen, because this is abominable. Not that Texas isn't abominable, it certainly is. And until we get rid of Dear Abbott, we're not going to have anything resembling a modern civilization in Texas. What does that surprise us? And you probably will not be surprised that the January 6th committee had Flynn tell them he's taking the Fifth Amendment. So we've known this gutter snipe isn't worth anything. They want to question him about a December 18th meeting in the White House when they discussed seizing voting boxes and things like that, all of which have been described in the press before. There was another call from a Harvard law professor to appoint a special counsel. Tick-tock, time is passing. What about the statute of limitations? How do we prove to people no man is above the law? And Garland sleeps comfortably at night because I'm sure Biden has told them that's what I want. And until somebody tells me no, and then I wouldn't even believe it, because our politics has gotten so sick. Republicans lie for one reason, Democrats lie for another. And we see that at home and abroad, bullies get away with it. Not acceptable. So that's kind of my thinking for the day. Hope you're well. Hope you got out in some of the warmth. If it's not there yet, hopefully it'll be there soon. Oh, and thanks some of you for your kind thoughts yesterday. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.